Yo, what's up, my people? What's up? What's up? What's up? Good afternoon. Yes, sir. We back on this Throwback Thursday. Salute to all my people out there moving on this Thursday, man. Might be payday for some of y'all, so if it is, man, hey, salute to y'all. Uh, don't spend all that money at one time, and safe travels to where it is that y'all are going, wherever it is that you're trying to get to. Oh man, I'm a little I don't want to say I got the itis, y'all, but you know me, I'm always eating. Thanks to the wife, man. I was just sitting here grubbing, so I'm good though. That's why I changed the time. It was originally supposed to be 6:05, and I had to change it to 6:45. I needed more time for my phone to, to charge because we was out today at the press conference in Brooklyn. What's up? Shout outs to y'all, man. What's up to everybody out there? Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, and welcome to the No Doug Zone podcast. If you ain't been here before, hey, welcome. And if you have been here before, it's always a welcome to have you guys. Throwback Thursday, we are going to be talking about, throwback, but we're going to talk about something interesting that we all grew up watching, um, that we got to see some of our favorite fighters on, a platform that we grown to love, and that is HBO boxing. Um, and what happened to it, and just what it meant to us, what it did for some of our souls. Before we started getting what you see today, um, started out with that. At least for me, it did. So we're gonna get into that today. Um, I had somebody ask me today about merchandise. Listen, y'all, I told y'all if y'all want merch, you seen it. You just gotta hit me in the DM, and then we'll go from there. So rather if it's a book bag, rather if it's a T-shirt, rather if it's a sweater, um, hey, I told you everything that y'all do when you donate goes back into the channel. The merch is a part of the channel. The merch is a part of the channel. So um, any of that, hit me and I'll do my part. We're trying our hardest to move the merch and everything as fast as we can. We're trying to move the merch, and I'm trying to get the stuff that I need for, you know, my whole show. The intro is a lot of things I'm trying to get. You guys just please bear with me, and it'll take some time, but it won't happen overnight. So if anybody's interested, like I said, in merch, uh, just hit me and we'll go from there. But let's get into why we here. All right, HBO boxing and what happened to it. I got to guess. My brother underrated. I don't know if he should have been up here already. I don't know if he's seen that I even changed the time, but we're gonna wait. I really want to start it out and wait for him, but I don't want to do that. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So for my newcomers, my regulars, everyone, welcome to the No Doubt Zone podcast. Let's go. Please, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Please, it's very important to like, share, subscribe. I gave it to you, underrated. I gave it to you. The link is right as soon as you go on your Instagram. When you go on your messenger, that's the link. It just looks different because we're not on StreamYard, but that's the link. I took the other link away because it was for 6:05, and I gave you the 6:45 link. So yeah, it doesn't cost anything, y'all. So like, share, subscribe. So I'm trying to wait for my guest. You see the underrated darkness. Go subscribe to him. Um, Go subscribe to my brother D Free. TD Sports Talk. My brother Thomas. BBO Boxing, Miss Fields, Tay Tay. It's a whole bunch of y'all. All the ones that's doing what they supposed to do, and the ones who constantly support me. That's all I'm gonna push out is the ones that support me. Underrated, you got it? All right, hold on, y'all. Okay, wait a minute. How did I send it the last time? Oh, yes, I did this way. Hold on, hold on. Okay, here we go. Underrated, my brother. Number
What's
one
good?
grinder, the best kept secret on social media.
What's
My
good?
Brooklyn brother.
My Bronx brother, how y'all? How's
I mean, I
everybody?
can't complain, man. First of all, I appreciate you taking this time to get up with me, man. So
Yeah,
thank you.
anytime, anytime, my
Yeah, I
brother.
wanted to do it 6:05, but I realized I was like, being that I was at the press conference, I blew my time on my phone, and I was like, oh man, I gotta charge this. This is the reason why I got to step my game up and get I've been using my phone for too long. But you know what, underrated, we got to do what we got to do, man.
Yeah,
Rather content is on the phone, a tablet, whatever, man. We got to do what we got to do to make sure our content get pushed out there, no matter how we do it. So we got to do what we got to do.
yeah.
Oh man, so before we get into it, underrated, how are you, brother? How's your Thursday been? How have you been?
I've been okay. I talked to you offline, but other than that, I'm here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's all that matters, man.
I'm here.
Everything else is like it's a blur. It's nothing we can. It's a lot of things in this world we can't control. So it is what it is, man. That's a great thing. So I didn't. There's a lot of people I could have talked to about this, but you were the perfect person to talk to about this right here. HBO boxing. For a lot of us, I know for me speaking, is when I really became a fan of boxing. But I want you, underrated, to take me back to the first time that you were introduced to HBO boxing.
That's
It
not.
doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't even matter what fight you start. What fight? Well,
I
put it this way: what fight caught your eye that made you watch HBO boxing like
um
consistently? Hey,
um I can't remember when I was very little, but one fight it caught my eyes. The late great Marvin Hagler against Alan Minter back in 1980.
oh damn, damn! You had to go 3 years before I was born, didn't you? Damn, underrated. You just had
I'm
to do that, huh?
sorry. Sorry,
Damn,
bad grinder, bad grinder, bad grinder.
damn.
But
Was
why
that
that
was,
fight
was
is
that the
so
op- was that the opener to you watching HBO boxing, or did you have to go and just watch more fights to be like, you know what, this is not bad?
now see what happened. My very first fight that I watched was Muhammad Ali, the late great Muhammad Ali, and late great George Foreman. But when I started like throughout the years and learned the significance of it, right? As you know, why George Foreman, why they didn't like George Foreman because George Foreman took the side of USA, and
Yeah,
at that time, people in Africa didn't like that. They consider Muhammad Ali at that time he became an international hero, fight for people. He said, "Listen, Avir Khan never called me the N word,"
yeah,
and so when George for I mean George Laker George Foreman waved that flag, even some people in this USA, it was a slap in the face.
Yeah.
And not as full as George Foreman, you know,
Yeah.
but but what happened was they considered him an enemy because the black nationalists, come into form, we fight for our rights and everything, and there was a lot was going through the time. So I got to know that part of the history. Now,
But hold
speed up
on, not to cut you off. When all this is going on, are they on HBO or they weren't on HBO yet?
There was not,
Okay.
there was not. But now go to the late great Marvin Hagler. Now, people don't remember, he got jerked of the title back in '79.
Yeah.
And that's when he said, from now on, I'm gonna use this
Yeah.
to win. I'm not gonna let the referees count. And so he let his fist do the talking and beat Alimenta. Now a lot of people don't understand this though too. It was a lot of racial content was in it too. It was like Fire Ireland, something like that. And so Alimenta was saying certain things he was supposed to, and Marvin Hagler, I'm talking about beat him up skillfully, beat him up, fight other side, broke his nose, all that, and they had to stop it. But he never got a chance to enjoy the championship, right? They were
Yeah.
throwing bottle cans and at him
Yeah, I
and
remember that.
everything.
Yeah, they were throwing cans at him. Years they had to guard him to get him out
Right.
the arena. That was. I ain't gonna lie. That was It showed you even back then racism was still heavy.
It was still heavy.
It wasn't just about him being American. It was
No,
about him being a black American.
a black American went in
Yeah.
there and beat and then when if you people listen to him, he never really enjoyed it, and that was a few that from
Yeah.
1980 to 1986 that he actually was one of the premier boxers that in that time, and he was one of the few that started the Four Kings,
Yeah.
and so we have to understand that when I watched that, that's when I was paying attention to skill. Don't get me wrong, but the social racial content was, and it caught my eye and everything. And also, it makes me think about other fighters that before it wasn't an oppressed condition had to fight their way become a champion. And so it reminds me of that too. As you know me for years, when I always talk about history, especially boxing history. You gotta know your history to know what's
Hmm.
going on. And
Yeah.
so for me, you may hit around the point. Everybody, oh, regular there was no racism in boxing. Racism always been in boxing. It just served an ugly head, and we have to understand that too. From 1980 on, and that was not long ago. And so I was maybe 14. Yeah, I was 14 at the time. 14 going on 14, something like that. And so that really impressed me on Marvin had, you know. Then I started watching other fights, Alexis Aguayo, the late great
Yeah.
Alexis Arguello and Aaron Pride fought twice. And that fight, Alexis Arguello, the late great Alexis Arguello thought it was a fluke, and Aaron Pride proven wrong again. And so it was numbers of fights that back in the 80s played a significant role that we was in right now. And that's when Atlantic City was really popping back then.
We from New York. That's where we from. But say hello before asking us where we from. That would be more
Right,
respectful.
right.
Thank you.
So Atlantic City, at that time, great boxing in Atlantic City, great boxing. great boxing in Blue Horizon in Philadelphia. You know, some of the East Coast, West Coast, you know, and so it was great fights. Even in the heavyweight division, a lot of people don't understand that the
When
heavyweight was
did when if you can, do you remember?
you know what?
That's all good. Um, no, what? Go ahead. Finish say what you was gonna say before I ask you that because you might be getting ready to say something, and I don't want to jump to ahead like I'm rushing you.
No, I'm
Go ahead and
saying
finish.
that's when
Yeah.
like you got Larry Holmes. You know, he fought Jerry Cooney. That was a little racial. Tony had to do that, and you know, the annihilation of Mike Tyson against Mavis Frazier. You know, Joe Frazier's son, and but it was some great fights back then. You know, you got Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler later on, like almost 8 years later, they fought again. We already know the
Oh,
outcome is that.
yeah.
So you know, we back in the '80s, you know, a lot of people don't know, you know, it was great
Salute from
fights.
salute from India.
Yeah,
Salute to
salute,
India.
salute, salute.
Yeah.
So it was great fights.
Smash that like button, y'all.
Yeah, smash that, yo. Come on, smash it for my brother. You know, come on now, smash my brother. And
Yeah.
also, I see Calvin Siebel became the bantamweight champion. You know,
Mm-hmm.
at the time that I interview is it's on my other channel and stuff. And you know, so he was a first champion of Charlotte, North Carolina. And so and I've you know, you was there, so it was it was good. It was boxing. Boxing was, you know, and then you got the coming, you know, lower class. They was coming up too, and
Yeah.
you got so
Salute Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Everybody make sure they go subscribe to my
salute,
brother Drew Titan
salute,
LLC.
brother Drew.
Go
Yeah,
go
salute.
subscribe. Go please go subscribe to him over there, man. Drew Titan LLC, my Bronx brother. Make sure you like, share, subscribe when you over there. Go ahead.
So you know, so I watch some boxing. And even in these places, I know people don't know about this. Even in certain casinos in Atlantic City at that time, you probably could see a fight for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, under
Yeah.
you know the top card all the way down to the undercard. Yeah, because I watched it for myself. You know, that's why I got no Tyson. I know, you know, and so
Yeah.
it was society for me. And then along the way, we got to the '90s and stuff. It was great and
But
everything.
before we get to then, what was the first fight that you see? What was the first? Well, you said you couldn't remember because at that time they weren't on HBO; they were on regular TV. When did you notice that boxing transact it crossed over to HBO boxing? Do you remember the year that it crossed over? That it crossed over to HBO?
Can't remember. I believe maybe like mid '80s,
Mid
something like
'80s.
that. Mid '80s, something like that. Y'all can look it up. Mid
Yeah,
'80s.
you know what? That was something that I mean I could have looked that up, but I figured I asked you. It's all good. It's not really a big deal because some people will tell you it doesn't matter because HBO don't exist no more. Well, it does matter for some of us because we are curious. We miss it, and that's when a lot of us became big fans of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and you know HBO boxing. You know a lot of people that HBO boxing. Everybody thought HBO boxing after dark. No, that was not first. It was HBO boxing first. And
Yeah, HBO
then
boxing
it
didn't come to like I think after dark that came like the '90s.
right. And so HBO, but a lot of people don't know though. You know HBO boxing make a had a quite a few household names.
Um, I think a lot of what we see today or what we've been seeing, um, copied HBO boxing.
Mm,
Um, and before that, we had the well, I think around that time we had the Tuesday night fights, which that was something to look forward to. Which I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into that probably next Thursday.
mm-hmm,
I'm gonna get into that because that was something where we could see the best fights.
mm-hmm.
Um, Tuesday nights fights, they brought a different type of energy to boxing. But yeah, but you witnessed some of the greatest fights. Rather, I don't care if it was just HBO or rather if it was HBO Boxing After Dark. You witnessed some of the greatest fights and some of the greatest fighters. I mean, how many times you can look up and Oscar De La Hoya or Roy Jones or Pernell
Yeah.
Whitaker, Lennox Lewis. You look up George Foreman, Michael Moore. You looking up and you can see these dudes that you usually got to pay for. You usually got to pay a pay per view to see these dudes, and you can just wake up on a Saturday. What Boxing After Dark used to come on 9 p.m.,
Mm-hmm.
10.
Nine, sometimes nine, sometimes 10.
Yeah,
But
like sometimes 9, sometimes 10.
I mean, it was a great time because this when and then said, and let me say this: at HBO Boxing, they really the heavyweight division coming to form. They was back.
Yeah,
It was a little dim before them, but I mean, you had at that time. That's when you got the cruiserweight division. It was little happening. Dwight Qualley, the late great Dwight Qualley, and then you got Evander Holyfield. He was at that time
yeah,
he was fighting for the cruiserweight. Cruiserweight was popping back then, and all
yeah,
that was happening in the HBO boxing. Hey, a lot of people don't know that. They know it was history. Like it was amazing because like I know it was at times that you know when boxing really came on, shoot. When I was living my late mother and father, shoot, I used to rush home to watch
yes,
boxing.
yeah. Um,
You know?
for me to grow up a basketball fan, boxing was just something I fell in love with naturally. And this is why I tell a lot of people I didn't just get into boxing when you saw me become a content creator. I was waking up watching Boxing After Dark. I used to go to sleep and I actually knew what time Boxing After Dark was coming on. And I would wake up in the night, couple of minutes, or sometime I wake up and it'll be on already. I put it right to HBO, which I think at the time HBO was channel 6, something like that at the time back in the days.
Mm-hmm.
It was a certain channel you had to go to for HBO. And I think it was like channel 6 maybe. I might be tripping, but it was something like that. And I used to wake up and to hear George Foreman's face or to hear Roy Jones' voice or see George Foreman or just it always prepared you.
Yeah.
Like it always prepared you and you like, all right, it's gonna be we're about to see something. You might have not known who was gonna fight, but just hearing the voices, it made you say like, all right, we got a good one on our hands.
Yeah. And
Um,
yeah, that's true.
yeah, so that was for me. It was always boxing after dark or just boxing period on HBO always did something different to my soul. I remember watching Nate Campbell, and that's crazy because I told Nate when I met him. When I met Nate in September of 2018 in front of the Barclays Center, you remember that was the Danny Garcia
Thank God,
Sean Porter fight, and I remember meeting him and telling him like how much of a big fan I was and how much I watched him on Boxing After Dark and all that. I used to see him a lot. The Galaxy Warrior,
Mm-hmm.
Junior Jones, Eric
Yeah.
Morales, Antonio Barrera. So many of the greats, man. Because we
Yeah.
got to give some of our Latinos their props because they were on there just as much as anybody else.
Yeah.
Arturo Gotti. I mean, you got a shitload of people, man. Floyd Mayweather when nobody really knew who Floyd was.
Yeah. And and also,
Um,
yeah, that's a
so
lot.
many.
Even like you have like promoters like we gotta understand. Black people think that Don King just came out in the 80s. No, he been out earlier. He
No,
don't
that's the
have
people.
to
That's the
fight the
people that don't.
Ali, and
That's
George
for,
Foreman fight. But what I'm saying is that he really stopped being become popular HBO boxing.
you know what? For people to think that he just came out in the '80s, that's like saying Bob Arum just came out in the '80s, and Bob Arum had been out for a while.
Mhm.
Had about 50 something years in the game, and that man's damn near 100.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He has a lot of years in the game, but that's just people who don't know. But it's okay. You can't expect everybody to know everything. That's why it's our job to let them know. And a lot of times we don't know, but it's
Right.
okay. But the things we do know, that's why it's our job to let them know. We don't tell them or let them know, then we let these other channels do it, and it just confuses them. It confuses them. We don't need no more confusion as much as we got going on in the sport of boxing.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
for
that's right.
me, for me though, like I said, I don't remember exactly the first fight I saw, but I remember the fights I've seen the fighters I did see. Um, and it was always a fight. There was never one I watched where it was boring, where I
Hmm.
was like, yo, I'm going to sleep to this. If I went to sleep, it was because I was tired. Because like I said, here it is. I'm 13, 14, 15 years old, staying up to watch boxing after dark and not even knowing who the hell is fighting
Hmm.
until I see. And if I'm familiar with a fighter, I go, yeah, okay, Roy Jones is fighting. Okay, all right, cool. This guy never knew Nate Campbell's name like that, but just knew his face when I saw him. So for me, it was great. And as the time went on, HBO boxing got even more interested when people like Andre Ward came around and Triple G came around, Daniel Jacobs came around.
Yeah.
It was so many where it was like it was interesting when you were like, okay, this we can never see this going away, right? We can never see HBO boxing go away. And then underrated, we get hit with it in 2017. We got hit with it like it snuck up on us like COVID snuck up on us in 2020, 3 years prior. We
Hmm.
find out that what's so crazy is I actually went.
Mm.
Was it 2017 or 2018? I think it might have been 2018. But I know I actually went to my last boxing HBO boxing show when Miguel Cotto fought Saddam Ali, December 2nd, 2017 at the Garden. That was Cotto's last fight, man, and that was the last time I actually got to see Cotto shake, man. It was crazy, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, we was in the great fight. It was great fights,
Yeah.
in the day. And that, and it's not like they had undercards, but there sometimes they had like three championship fights back to back to back. And
I was disappointed when I heard that the ship was sinking for
yeah,
HBO, and I'm like, no, come on, man, you can't be serious because when you look at the long history, even before it got to HBO,
yeah,
before boxing, because HBO always been there, but
right.
before boxing got there, um, I don't know what was going on, but it damn sure was different once boxing got to HBO, it was different. And rather if it was HBO pay per view, which the HBO pay per views was crazy,
Hmm.
crazy. I mean, we watched Floyd Mayweather diminish Arturo Gotti, God rest his soul.
Yeah,
I mean, we watched some pretty bad ass whippings.
yeah.
Like we watched Paul Mike Tyson get demolished. I think even at that time when he fought Buster Douglas, was that an HBO pay per view? I mean, yeah, HBO, was it HBO pay per view? Because I don't
I
think that
don't
was
think so.
regular
No, I don't
TV.
think so. No,
I don't think that was regular TV.
no.
And you know
Mm-mm.
what? I might have to look up that. But
I
I
don't
know
think.
when he fought Lennox Lewis, they took Showtime and HBO and combined it together because they had to get both of them because I believe Lennox was still with HBO, Mike was with Showtime.
Mm-hmm.
But they got it to work.
Mm-hmm.
But even putting that together,
Yeah.
um, was amazing. But we have seen it. I mean, we got to see Evander Holyfield and George Foreman.
Mm-hmm.
That was a classic.
Yeah.
I mean, we seen George stand there and take about almost 30 punches from damn Holyfield and be able to stand there and take that. I'm like, this guy's not human.
Right.
I mean, he punched everything about it, George. You saw everything. You seen everything from.
You're like still
I
fighting,
mean,
right?
he was
Yeah.
punching hamburgers and the George Foreman grills about of him, but he stood. George still stood there and he took all that, man. It's just
Yeah.
but there's so many. It's been so many classics that we have seen, man. That the times can't be replaced. And when you look at how boxing is today, you go, man, shit. I know we can never go back to what we used to be, but damn, man, I sure missed them times. And I felt like when HBO went away, boxing started to get a little goofy.
Yeah.
We
It
started
was.
having you. We started having YouTubers. Then once that happened, and then it just went all down the drain from there, man. And it's not to say we're not getting any good fights anymore, but it's that these times today, man, it just I don't know. I don't like the times today. I mean, I deal with it. It is what it is, because the first thing people will tell you is that you don't have to watch boxing. You choose to. So if you don't like what's going on, then maybe you should go find something else to do. But it does give you where you miss uh those times. But let me ask you, underrated, what was one of your favorite fights that you watched on HBO that you can remember? It could be 90s, 2000s.
When Lennox little fight Rock Hassan Rock.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. That was that whole build up to that was crazy. Now you see them two are working with each other now.
Right, isn't it, right?
Ain't that crazy? I mean, it's
Yeah.
not crazy because that was like 20 some years ago. And
Yeah.
if Hasim Ratman, um, let me see, how could I put it? They you know what? I always wanted to see a trilogy in that. That was one that I don't know why a trilogy ain't never happened.
Yeah.
Because Hasim won the first one, and Lennox came back to win. All right, so Hasim won the first one, and Lennox Lewis came back to win the second one, and I'm like, this should have been a trilogy in that.
Sure,
Why there
yeah.
was never a trilogy? That's a question I have for both of them.
Yeah. And also you had the growth of um Floyd Mayweather. That throughout the years he was like became undisputed of different weight classes. Then Prince
Yeah,
Ahmed,
Prince
you know,
Ahmed.
Prince Ahmed
Yeah,
was born.
Kevin Kelly.
Kevin Cowley, yeah. Now at that time, that's when the featherweight division was popping back.
Oh man, the featherweights was nasty.
Yeah,
Uh, what's the dude name? Kennedy. What the hell is his name? McKennedy. I can't never pronounce his doggone name, man. But
McKinney, something like that.
and Mark was it Marco Antonio Barrera fought him.
Yeah,
He beat the shit out of him, man.
yeah,
I mean, Marco Antonio Barrera beat the shit out of him.
yeah.
But I mean, he beat
Eric,
the shit out of him. He beat the shit out of him.
and also you got the growth of Eric Morales.
Eric Morales, and especially when Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera was going at it, like you didn't know how real boxing was. Like it was okay when it was a Mexican fighter against a black fighter or a Mexican
Yeah,
fighter against a Puerto Rican. But when it was Mexico versus Mexico, and they were from two different parts of Mexico, one from what's the part of Mexico, famous part of Mexico? Oh damn it, I keep forgetting. But they were from two different parts of Mexico, and sometimes they countries would be going at it. So it would make the rivalry between the fighters more intense. D free, I see you down there.
shout out to Brother D Free, and also they fought at least about a good 5 or 6 times.
They fought well, and today they are good friends,
Yeah,
which as they should be. Because everybody needs a great dance partner to make a great fight.
hmm
That's just something that's a part of it. Now, I think it might have been explained to me before, or maybe I just missed out on it. That why did the ship sink for HBO boxing? because I can't figure it out. I mean, I don't. I'm trying to get a clear understanding of it.
I don't have either, but I think that it was other networks was coming in
Yeah,
and they were
yeah.
paying the money, and HBO couldn't hold it and stuff. And I'm just saying that was sad when they said they had no more HBO. You know, I'm like, I just felt that they could have.
I
I ain't say HBO, but I mean,
I didn't understand it. I
I
didn't
mean,
understand it when I
yeah, I
first
didn't
heard it. I was
understand
like,
either.
huh?
I mean,
I was like, wait a minute, let me get this straight. Y'all don't have what? I didn't get it. You know what I mean? And today, still to this day, I'm still like, okay, what? Because if you look at it now, it's pure chaos. I think when it shut down, I could be wrong, and no disrespect to Showtime, but when those doors closed for HBO boxing, it left some doors open to let just anybody walk in.
mhm. And you know what I love about HBO boxing? It was excellent commentators, legendary.
Yeah.
Mm,
Um, like I said, rather if it was pay per view or regular HBO boxing, you had something to look forward to on
yeah.
a Saturday.
Mhm.
You had something to look forward to. You would watch the weigh in Friday. You already knew, oh, tomorrow he gonna get his ass whipped.
And the one thing I like about HBO, even at times they show pay review, they always make sure to put on the put on a regular, so you can see it. And that's what I like about
Yeah. Guys at that time went out and they left it all out. Blood, sweat, and tears
it. Yeah.
out in that ring. And like I said, my best moments coming up watching it was HBO boxing. They always see Roy Jones on there. I had to. When Roy Jones had the famous when he had the fight when he put his hands behind his back and he fought that guy and he hit him.
Mm-hmm.
Can't forget it.
And also
Um,
when he fought Virgil Hill, hit
yeah,
him with the body
I
shot.
mean, you know, watching Bernard Hopkins beat Phoenix Trinidad, Tito
Mm-hmm.
Trinidad at the Garden
Mm-hmm.
at a time where we all were going through it. We just got hit with something that we didn't
Yeah.
know if we ever were gonna recover from it.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably one of the biggest wins ever in history. Forget just his opponent, Tito, but just period, because we needed that. Because at that time we lost. We took a big loss and we needed something to make us
Mm-hmm.
feel good. It wasn't gonna
Mm-hmm.
replace it wasn't gonna replace the people that we lost, but we needed something at the moment to make us feel good.
Yeah.
And Bernard gave us that.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of us talk shit about Bernard because we don't like the things he say today. But when you take the time to think about this, he gave us that for that moment. He
Yeah.
gave us some feel good.
Yeah.
We needed that.
Yeah. So
But yeah, when you look at it, it's been so many memories of HBO boxing, man. Not just boxing after dark, but just it period. Um,
yeah.
hey, I tell you what, I like when 24/7 kicked in. When Floyd came with 24/7, and that's what really I really got into it because Floyd made it fun.
Mm-hmm.
He made it fun with his trash talking, and you just had to tune in. You was waiting for the next episode. I don't care if it was Kodo. I don't care if it was De La Hoya, if it was Ricky Hatton, if it was Mosley. You were gonna tune in. You had to. And even though when he left and he went to Showtime, he did the All Access. It was
Mm-hmm.
still, you know, it was still where you had to pay attention to him. But yeah, you know, for me, that's what HBO boxing did for me. Rather, like I said, rather if it was boxing after dark, whatever. That whole just the name HBO boxing. And then I look right, and I remember asking D Freitas. I said, "Damn, if is there ever a possibility we could see HBO boxing come back?" Because anything in this, you know what I believe? Anything in this world is possible.
Mhm.
Underrated. Sometimes when people tell you that something's not possible, it's because they're not trying to make it possible. Some things are possible to make happen. Now, some of y'all are gonna go, "Why would you want to see it come back? It's over, bro." Well, I don't listen to y'all because a lot of y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all the same ones that saying that Jake Paul is gonna beat Tank next week. Like, yeah, some of y'all are the same ones. So I don't too much listen to y'all. Well, not next week, but y'all know what I mean. But I would like to see it. I mean, people are gonna say why, and we're not going back to those days. This is not the early 2000s or the 90s or the 80s, and I get it. The question is that there's a possibility, could it ever come back?
Cause I
I
remember
mean,
when they used to show like HBO boxing, that's when the Blue Horizon was popping. That's when Atlantic City was popping. Madison Square Garden was popping. And the
you know what?
other places.
I felt like boxing got when it went away. It kind of, I don't know. It seemed like the relationship with that and City went away too,
Yeah, it did.
because even still to this day, well, you get boxing in Atlantic City, you just get these promotional companies that people may not be familiar with, but you'll get that. You get Primetime Promotions, you get Boxing Insider. If anybody don't know what Boxing Insider is or Primetime Promotions, go on Instagram and follow them.
Mhm.
Two great promotions, and pay attention to them. Pay attention to Swift Promotions. Swift Promotions is Danny Garcia promotion. Pay attention to that because at some point he's probably going to have something go on in Jersey.
Mhm.
If you know, even if he's not fighting, he's gonna have something probably eventually. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, I felt like when that happened, it just took away, man. And I understand things can't stay the same. They're going to change. Some change for the better, some change for the worse. But sometimes change is it's necessary.
Mhm.
Um, what did you think about Larry Merchant? What was your
A,
thoughts on Larry Merchant as a
le-
commentator?
a legend, no
Yeah.
stuff. But when you know that he don't never like that fighter, you know it. So sometimes he let his personal feelings get in the way of the
Yeah,
journalism.
I heard. Yeah, um,
And that's the one thing I ain't like about
I like the back and forth with him and George though. It would be funny sometime.
it. Yeah.
Cause you know George wouldn't bite his tongue, and
Mm-mm.
George wouldn't let you sit up there. One thing I loved about George, he wouldn't let you sit up there and talk down on another fighter,
Right.
especially if he's black. Oh,
Mhm.
George didn't like that
Yeah.
because he would correct you in a minute
Mm-hmm.
and wouldn't care about how you felt about it. I used to love to see my two favorite up there was to see Roy Jones and George Foreman up there because I used to love hearing them talk.
Yeah.
And then when they got Lennox Lewis up there, I loved it. There was
Yeah.
certain guys. There were certain guys I'll be like, yeah, I could listen to them all day. And Lennox Lewis always been one of my favorites, and still is my favorite today. I think the most awkwardest thing I've ever saw on HBO boxing was the fight when Lennox Lewis fought Oliver McCall in a rematch, and Oliver McCall just broke down. I was like, yo, I don't know. I was baffled. I said, is he crying?
Yeah. You
I'm
know
like,
what? You
I'm
know
a
what?
kid now. I'm probably like 11 to 12 years old when this fight happened, underrated. But I'm
Mhm.
thinking, did I miss something? Did somebody step on his big toe? What happened? I said, is he crying?
Yo, I would have jokes on him. They ain't
But
like
that
me.
showed you that how back then mental health was mental health.
Right, exactly. And that's when we got older, we understand that.
We understand that because he didn't just do that. It was a mental thing.
It was a
I
mental,
can't
right?
focus on fighting. I can't focus in this fight the way I want to. I got
Yeah,
something going on with me.
yeah. And later on,
It's
we
a
found
difference
out.
between when you quit and just say I don't want to fight no more versus, hey man, I got something going on with me that's hindering me from continuing this. And we see it continue go on still to this day.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, we didn't know what mental health was. If you mention somebody mental, the first thing we said is, oh, they crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they mental. They mentally, I don't want to use the R word, but they mentally, something wrong with them. But now I realized years later, yeah, that was a mental health thing for him.
Yeah.
Shout out to Oliver McCall though.
Yeah, and so Oliver McCall used to be on there too, and you got Tim Weatherspoon.
Yes, yes, yes. Shout out to
Mm-hmm.
Tim Witherspoon. Rest in peace to Tommy Morrison.
Ty
Um,
Morrison, right? Yeah, you know.
Duke. Yeah. So
Ooh, yeah,
I
and they
mean,
was
you
a
even
they was
had
a
you even
regular. They was a regular on it too.
oh man, I mean, you had some killer whales, man, or killer
Mm-hmm.
sharks, or however you want to put it, that performed on HBO.
Yeah,
All right,
you know.
it's what is it? 7:40? When did we get on here? 6:40? No, we got on here 6:45, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we ain't got that much time. We can go ahead and finish what we doing, and yeah, because I don't want to hold you too long. I ain't gonna hold myself too long, but it's just the memories, man, of you think about everything you were doing from the first time you watched HBO boxing till now, and when they closed the doors to HBO, I was very sad.
I was very sad because even like when I moved to Queens, when I was by myself, I used to run home. A lot of people don't know HBO boxing used to come like sometimes 2 or 3 times out the week, and usually on the
Yeah,
weekend, you
you go,
Saturdays you good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There was times you could watch it over. Like you know how you used to, if you missed a fight or something, it came back on that next day Sunday, and you could
Yeah,
catch it. That's what I do. Oh, I missed it. You catch it on the Sunday, and they'll play it on the Sunday morning, sometime like maybe 9, 10 o'clock in the
yeah,
morning.
in the morning, right?
And I would catch it. I used to be like, oh, and I'd get mad because I'd be like, damn, I went to sleep. And then I realized, okay, you know what? I'm not tripping. They're gonna show it again. And I would see it again. And it was always worth seeing. Even sometime now, underrated, I go back on YouTube because sometimes I want to
Mm-hmm.
go back and I find myself going back to a lot of HBO stuff because I miss
Mm-hmm.
it. And it was so much easier to understand boxing back then. Um, I guess it was easier for me to understand what I was familiar with and what I knew. Um, just speaking for me. And I understand we're not gonna get those days back because you got some of these people that just they so caught on to what they see today because they don't know nothing about boxing back then. So they'll just be like, yo, it ain't gonna never go to that. Who cares about HBO boxing? Who cares about those people from 30 or 35 years ago? Those are the people right there that don't know Jack because they opened the doors for the people today. Everybody has opened the door for somebody.
And the good thing, one thing about HBO Sports, even we had some fighters over this was top contenders. You actually see them grow, become a champion.
Yeah,
Very suddenly we see that right now. Very rare.
yeah.
No.
I don't think a lot of people comprehend that. They don't understand that it's just history of this. It goes back so far, and that's the reason why when I like doing Throwback Thursdays, I can see a lot of people don't like it I mean, look at it. It's 7 likes and nobody's in here. It's cool. You know why nobody's in here? Because I ain't talking about Crawford and goddamn Canelo all day. Because that's what they
Right,
want to hear.
right.
That's what they want to hear. They want to hear that for a whole week, for a whole 2 weeks. Oh man, they ain't talking about HBO boxing. Why are they talking about that? Nobody want to hear about that shit. What do you think about Crawford and Canelo? Then we have these conversations. Go to my YouTube. I got about 4 or 5 videos the other day to Crawford and Canelo. What more do y'all want? Y'all want to go out on a date with both of them? What more do y'all want? So y'all should be glad to be a part of this conversation of HBO boxing and what happened to it, and we miss it. We're honoring and showing respect. A lot of your favorite fighters wouldn't even been here if it wasn't for those guys who opened up the door. Everybody's opened up the door for somebody. So when you think you're gonna come over here and hit Crawford and Canelo all damn day, then maybe you need to find a damn channel to go to, cause that ain't it over here. I told y'all on Monday that was gonna be the last conversation about Canelo and Crawford. And damn it, that's what I meant. Unless some shocking news comes up and he makes some announcement about coming back, then maybe we can get into it. Until then, this ain't it. So get off it, ladies and gentlemen. But but you know, whatever. You can't please people. It is what it is, man.
No, you can't.
I don't try to bully people. I don't want to make people act like they have to be over here listening to me. I just thought doing the throwback Thursdays is important to the people that can remember old school boxing. So when you bring up something like an HBO Boxing After Dark, you think about what you were doing at the time. Some people were in school, high school, college. Some people had just got married, whatever, had your first child. It's all about memories. It's not just boxing. You think about what were you doing at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for a lot of these people that's so spoiled today, I don't want to hear about no old school boxing. But just know this: these same fighters that y'all like today, at some point they're gonna come old school. Yeah, Bud feel the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bud feel the same way. You can't please people, and I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing it. Not over here. I'm not gonna please none of you. I'm just
And
not gonna
all,
do that.
right, and also HBO boxing, right, have opened
Yeah,
a lot of doors.
yes, it did. It did.
A
HBO
lot of
boxing.
doors.
It did. It opened a lot of doors. Even matter of fact, even Crawford and them was performing on HBO before he
Yeah.
went out. If y'all go back to the old videos, man, he was on there. So that just shows you how long he been around. Because I believe Crawford came around in '08 maybe, '09, something like that.
Yeah. Something. Yeah.
So he was no stranger. He been around. He's been around for a minute, and a lot of those guys. So you know when HBO went away, it was a low blow. It was a
Yeah.
low blow.
I always
It was
say
a low
is
blow.
if I come with a lot of money, one of the things I would do, I would like probably bring back HBO boxing, buy the blood, maybe I purchase the Blue Horizon and also Atlantic City. I make sure that hey, get Atlantic City jumping again. I would like to see that. I would do that little by little. Get back promise, every casino,
Yeah,
show boxing and stuff. That's how it was back then. Like you got
yeah,
HBO boxing at Trump Plaza. HBO used to be at Sands. HBO used to be at Tropicana. That's HBO had. I mean, there was other little networks, but HBO had sold up Atlantic City on the board.
yeah. It did. It just brought a different type of feeling to the sport of boxing, and it didn't matter what arena they went, rather if it was New York or rather if it was Jersey.
Right.
It just brought a different type of feeling to the sport of boxing, and a lot of people that never understand that because they too busy, so caught up in boxing today. They so busy caught up in these guys that fight today, acting like these guys today are the greatest in the world.
Mhm.
They act like these guys are the greatest in the world, and they're not. You know what I mean? And that's no disrespect to them. But
Mhm.
everybody has opened the door for somebody. John, I see you. Salute.
So to you,
And we
brother
got to
John.
keep because the guys that y'all rooting for today, What do y'all think is gonna happen in 5, 10 years from now with some of these guys are gonna be on their way out the door? Some of them are already on their way out the door. But for most of them, 10 years from now, they're gonna be out the door. So when you're trying to teach somebody or tell somebody about them, guess what? The next generation is not trying to hear it. To understand today, you got to go back. You got to go back. But y'all don't want to go back. Y'all want to stay where y'all at. Y'all comfortable. Cool. Stay there. Stay there. I ain't gonna keep. Listen, I'm not gonna spend the rest of 2025 and 2026 constantly trying to elevate y'all and motivate y'all to do this and do that. Y'all can do whatever the hell y'all want. Just stay off my channel with it. That's all I ask. Do what you want. You can go ahead and sit on the toilet and you ain't gotta wipe your ass. Just get up and pull your pants up.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? When you pee, you ain't gotta flush the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all do what you want to do. It's just not gonna happen over here. We're gonna continue to have these throwback talks, man. I'm gonna come back with Tuesday night fights next week. I'm glad that y'all really like hearing these old school talks because I'll be back with Tuesday night fights next week. Next week. And I'm gonna keep coming back. I'm gonna keep coming back to talk about this throwback because they're necessary.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't that much that your favorite fighter doing today that you got to be up here every day from Monday to Friday talking about their ass. They ain't doing nothing that great. Your favorite fighter is not doing nothing that great, but every day they're in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
BBO, what up? Make sure y'all go subscribe to BBO Sports TV. Your favorite fighter
BVO,
not
salute
doing
to
it.
you.
I'm just saying. Just saying though. So we gotta make it we gotta make it make sense. HBO boxing was something that it brought a different type of vibe to
Yeah.
the sport. It it drew in it brought in a lot of people. Oh man, here you go. Why don't you, hey, instead of you tell the people that BBO, get some people to go subscribe to my man Underrated, man. Let's get some people over there for him. Got to get some people over there for my brother Underrated, man. We all gonna pass the word down for each other though. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we all want to make sure we all get up there in numbers. Because let me tell you something, there's a lot, there's enough room for all of us to sit at the table. For the ones who want to sit at the table. If you don't want to sit at the table on the winning circle, you don't need to be around us. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Shout my brother Underrated out tonight, man. I would appreciate that. Tell
Appreciate
people to
that.
go over there, like, share, subscribe, man. Know what I'm saying? We have real men's talk over there too, man. Any brothers out there, and I don't mean just black, because we all children of God. Anybody
Mm-hmm.
out there who feels like they mental ain't there like that, they going through something. If it's not my channel you're coming to for morning chop ups, because we're gonna get into it because mental health is getting deeper and deeper now.
Mm-hmm.
Depression is getting more crazy now.
Appreciate
Underrated.
that, brother VVO. Appreciate
Yeah.
you. A good dude
So
too. Thank you.
we're gonna have our conversations either over here or with the underrated one, but we will be getting into men's mental health.
Yeah,
We
and
did it
and also,
before, but we're gonna keep constantly doing it. We don't care who don't want to hear it. If it don't apply, then don't worry about it. It ain't for you, buddy. But just don't come around when you feeling some kind of way.
yeah, and also, the underrated boxing talk. I'm gonna bring that back soon. I'm gonna talk to you, brother McLean, about it. We're gonna talk about old school boxing. We're gonna go by areas. So
Oh yeah, no
watch
problem.
out for that. Watch out for that. And
Got it.
the social content comes with it.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Um, but yeah, it's but like I said, man, it just off me as a kid, remembering, even with the Andrew Galata and Riddick Bowe, I told you I attended that. That Andrew Galata and Riddick Bowe, that the first fight was crazy. Y'all seen what happened with that?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't make it out the garden. Jesus, we done got killed in there. They throwing chairs, people getting beat up, dudes is getting slammed on their neck. It was bad. It was almost like going to WrestleMania. First thing I say to myself, underrated, I said, this is what a boxing match is like? Oh, hell no. I don't think I want to go to one again. But then I wanted to go to one again. I
Yeah.
was entertained by it. I said, oh, I could do this. I could do this. You know what I'm saying? But it was so many great memories of HBO boxing. I never really understood why, even though it was explained to me. That's just me being such a fan of what I grew up on watching that I just wish we could have it back. I wish HBO boxing could come back, man. I really wish
Yeah.
it could. And it was great. Um, when they started PBC on Fox, PBC
Hmm.
on Fox kind of almost gave me them HBO boxing after dark vibes at
Yeah.
first. Because I was liking the PBC on Fox.
Hmm.
I think PBC should have stayed on Fox. But hey, that's just my opinion. For fights that's not pay-per-view fights, to me they should have been on. But then you gotta deal with the commercials and shit, so it's a lot that comes with it. Um, but yeah, man, listen, I won't say RIP to HBO boxing because HBO boxing to me is still very much alive.
Hmm.
So just I can't just put the nail in the coffin and say HBO boxing, we miss you. I can always go to my YouTube and be able to look something up from that time. Now, if I couldn't look nothing up and they had nothing on HBO boxing, then I probably could say RIP to it. But as long as
Hmm.
I can go to my YouTube and I'm able to pull up an old video, I could pull up 24/7. I could pull up a weigh in or anything. HBO boxing will never be dead.
Right.
It'll never be dead. Know what I mean? Um, but what you got on it? I think I got what, 5 more minutes? Yeah, I got 5 more minutes and I can cut it off. No, actually, yeah, 5 more minutes and then I'll get an hour in. Yeah, any what you got on that underrated?
I've said that if y'all want us to watch HBO Sports, go to YouTube, pull it up, and you see so many fights to be like that you talk about in the past. I never thought these top fighters because quite a few fighters are household names because of HBO boxing. A
Yeah,
lot of y'all don't know that, and some still exist today. And we need to put some respect for HBO boxing. Man. Did a lot for boxing. I know for me when it left a void for me personally. And it seems like
yeah,
certain times in boxing when it comes to network play and catch up and stuff. I just felt that there's enough money to make. Could have kept that going. Could have kept that going.
yeah,
But you got some people greedy. They want this, they want that. HBO boxing was it. That was it. You know?
yeah, yeah. Like I said, people will never understand it because they too busy stuck on what's going on today in boxing, and that's cool. I pay attention to what go on today too in boxing, but that shit don't impress me because the shit that go on is goofy, and y'all falling for everything that they show y'all, everything that they tell y'all, y'all falling for it. But then you can't even tell somebody the history of the sport. It's crazy. Like what's popular to y'all now, or what's been popular to y'all for the last 3, 4 years and 5 years is not going to matter to these new people coming in as content creators. These new fans that might not be here today, that might be around 5 years from now, they ain't trying to hear about no Shakur and Devin and Boots 5 years from now. Cause whoever is popping now is who they're gonna be on 5 years from now. But who's ever making their way in, that's who they're gonna be on for now. They ain't trying to hear nothing about y'all talking about no, and that's not me hating. I'm telling y'all how y'all act right now. How y'all act right now with the old school fighters is how these new cats are gonna act when it's time for your favorite fighter to retire or when they're gone. The same way that y'all are acting with guys today or the guys in the past, it's the same way these other people gonna act with y'all. Watch and see. I don't know because I don't plan on being no content creator 5 years from now. I don't know what plan God got for me, but I don't think I'll be sitting here. I might be being interviewed, but I don't know if I'll be the guy that'll be on here constantly doing these lives because some of y'all are out there, and I don't have the
Yeah.
patience for y'all. And me and underrated, he's getting older, and even though in 5 years I'm still young, I'm not gonna be that young where I got the patience to be going back and forth with y'all on social media.
Well, I'm pushing like you know, I ain't afraid to say 60 next year, and I don't
Yeah.
see myself. I don't see myself really like. I'm thinking about like I did enough, you know. So,
Um, I always say this, man. I think the only thing that keep me going is the amateurs.
mhm.
Because I owe so much to them, and they are the reason why I do this. And there's a reason why I will continue to do this. And I want to thank their coaches and their families for allowing me to do it.
Yeah,
Um, but other than that, if I am on YouTube, I could still be. But as far as me sitting here doing this, unless I have my own like studio, but even then, but even then, I won't have time for trolls. Like I don't have that time for trolls now, and I damn sure won't be going back and forth with nobody in no chats. I don't do that now, and I damn sure ain't about to do it tomorrow. Or I'm just, hey, all I do is hit that block button, and you'll be out of here. So
yeah.
there's a lot of things I don't. There's a lot of things I'm not gonna make time for. So it is what it is. But yeah, HBO boxing was great, and hey man, we miss it, and hopefully in the future we can get some good news. You
Yeah,
know what? It's crazy, man. There's so many things that Turk can do right now that he can make happen, but
yeah.
he ain't gonna do it. But it is what it is. Hey, listen, I appreciate this time, underrated. I'm gonna wrap it
Thank
up.
you.
Y'all go back and check on the check-in of this, and anybody, please feel free to leave a comment about what do you feel about HBO boxing and where were you? You might have been in middle school, high school, college. Might have been going on your first kid, whatever the case may be. Leave a comment. Feel free. Make sure you go subscribe to my brother, Underrated Darkness, Big Bill
Appreciate that.
Sports TV, D Free. And
Yeah,
make
shut up.
sure you
Yes.
go subscribe to everybody that's out there doing their thing. Not everybody that's out there cloud chasing. You want real content? Follow the people who are not making up shit. They not out here bent over and on their knees to try to get subscribers. Stick with the real. So that way you'll know what's going on. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We'll be back tomorrow. It is fight week. We have Gabrielle Findora, who's fighting Saturday, the sister of Sebastian Findora, the Tano Infernal, who will be fighting on October 25th against Keith One Time Thurman. So I'll be basically talking about her tomorrow, and probably after the weigh-in. I'm gonna see her weigh-in, then we'll get into about her. Love y'all. Hey, underrated. I love you, brother. I'ma holla at
Thank
you.
you. All right.
Yes, okay. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Y'all know what it is. It's the No Duck Zone podcast. Let's go.
Let's go. Peace.